Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and welcome to our Westchester Weekly Update. Today is Monday, July 22nd. We're very happy that you're here so we can go over some of the issues that are pending in Westchester County. A lot of news nationally, so the news that we make in Westchester County really doesn't reach the same level of interest, but we think there's some important things to talk about today. We'll be joined in just a second by the supervisor of the town of Pelham, Dan McLaughlin. We also have a great conversation coming up with Westchester County Association leaders, led by Mike Ramita and our Director of Economic Development, Bridget Gibbons, to talk about a healthcare talent pipeline program that's on the docket. We're going to have discussion about Parole and Probation Week that's coming up to highlight the great work that our probation department does, County Probation Department. We'll mention where we are on September 11th. We'll remind you about the buses. We'll also talk about the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Ken will give the parks update, and we'll also touch upon the coming Olympics, where we have a Westchester connection and maybe more Westchester connections as we do our homework. Let me just mention before we start, there have been a couple of issues that have come up in parts of the county that we in the county government are working on, and we intend to report on them at one of the future updates when we have some concrete actions. One of them was the terrible tragedy of the loss of 2 lives on Mamaroneck Avenue in the village of Mamaroneck. It was an accident that occurred with a bus driver and 2 residents, a mother and a child. There's going to be a response of some of the different things we intend to do in the county government in harmony with the village government to improve traffic safety. We're working on some of those details. I hope to be able to report on that either a week from now or relatively soon. And then also we're dealing with the continuing problems of odors in the Ludlow Park neighborhood of Yonkers that come from the wastewater treatment plant in Yonkers. There may be other contributors, but primarily our responsibilities for the wastewater treatment plant. We have some plans that we intend to announce about how we're going to move forward on that. But we're not ready yet for the full public announcement. But be aware, if you're watching, that those are some of the stories we intend to cover in the days to come. They're on our agenda, and we hope to be able to get through our agenda effectively. We are also in the middle of the summertime, which for us is generally a slower season of the year, except for our Parks Department, which is going gangbusters with programs at all of our different parks. Ken Jenkins, our Deputy County Executive, who will join us, will cover all of those, as he usually does as the last major bullet of the presentation. First up, I want to introduce the supervisor of the town of Pelham. Dan McLaughlin is head of a town of 13,000 people, and it is comprised of people that live in either the village of Pelham or the village of Pelham Manor. And like the town of Rye, we had Gary Zuckerman here in the past, it's one of the 2 towns that has villages that cover all of the area, and therefore some of the services that the town provides are prescribed by state law, and then the other services are provided by the village level of government. If you live in Pelham or Pelham Manor, you know this. If you live outside of Pelham, you might not know this, and it works a little bit differently, local government in those kind of settings. But Dan is leading, as I said, a community of 13,000 people. We have some things we're working on together. Hopefully we'll have some announcements in that area. But in the meantime, we invite him, as we do every week, with one of our local town supervisors, city mayors, or village mayors, to join us and to talk a little bit about the town of Pelham. So I give you the supervisor of the town, Dan McLaughlin. Dan, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I don't want to correct the Westchester County Executive, but I'm going to have to. There are people that live in the town of Pelham that don't understand there's 2 villages, there's a town, and they've been there 35, 40 years, and they're still trying to figure that out. But basically, the villages handle all of the services, the essential services that are at that are used, the police, the fire. The only thing the villages do not do, they do not do emergency services. And I'd like to talk about that for a little bit. I've been on the board of the town since 2009. I've lived in Pelham 38 years. The town of Pelham has never had their own ambulance, never. What they did have, what we call a fly car, which is like an emergency car on wheels, emergency room on wheels, but it was not a transportation. The town of Pelham contracted with an organization to follow up with an ambulance if we needed an ambulance. Over the last 2 years, that has turned into something of a problem. So we sent out an RFP, and we got back 2 groups that answered it, and we decided to go with the Eastchester Volunteer Association. The Eastchester Volunteer Ambulance Association is now running our EMS. What we've also done is bought our own ambulance. And having our own ambulance plus the fly car is substantially increased the availability of EMS in the town of Pelham. And we're delighted. It's been 6 months. The waiting time, the transportation time has gone down substantially. I'd like to thank, or the board would like to thank both Senator Fernandez and Assemblywoman Pauling, because they gave us up to $450,000 in grants to buy the ambulance. And we have the ambulance fully working. The only thing we need now is a building to put it in. And we're a 2.2 square mile town. There is not much building areas. But there are a couple that the county is working with us to see if we can obtain that piece of property and build an EMS center where we can put not only the ambulance, but the fly car and the 3 people that are involved in it. So that's a really good thing, and we're real happy about that. The only other thing that I'd like to talk about the town is our tremendous recreation department. We have a recreation department that serves the seniors, the youth, the adults. We have over 40 recreation programs that deal with youth, senior citizens, and adult sports. It's a wonderful organization, and I think somebody in this audience might have used some of those programs during his stay when he was in Pelham. So it's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to grow up, and it's a quiet community, suburban community, excellent schools, substantial recreational opportunities. It's a great place to grow up. Thank you. Thank you, Westchester County Exec.
Thank you very much, Dan McLaughlin, the town supervisor for the town of Pelham. And Dan would invite you, along with Mayor Chance Mullen, who is the village mayor, to a concert tonight in Pelham. Obviously, it's always weather permitting. Every Monday night, 7:30 at Gazebo Park. There's a concert. I'm not sure who's playing tonight, but whoever it is, it'll be good. I was there last week. And if you're there this week, you'll get a good flavor of what's happening right in the heart of Pelham, right by the train station. You can't miss it. And there's great restaurants to go to either before or after you have a chance to enjoy the concert. So visit Dan's town and do it tonight if you have the time. Dan, thanks very much for coming with us. Thank you. All right, we're joined now by Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins. He has the next issue, which talks a little bit about another one of our efforts in economic development. Ken?
Thanks, George. This afternoon, we are so pleased and privileged to have with us, joining us tonight this afternoon, Westchester County Economic Development Director Bridget Gibbons, the President and CEO of the Westchester County Association, Mike Ramita, the Westchester County Association Director of Workforce Development, Jason Chapin, and they're getting ready to come up and discuss the Healthcare Talent Pipeline Program. So with that, let's invite them up and we'll pull this out. Go from there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deputy County Executive and County Executive. Healthcare is the largest economic engine in Westchester County and the region. Hospitals alone contribute $13 billion in economic impact, and they hire over 54,000 workers in the region. And unfortunately, a lasting impact of COVID-19 has left it difficult for hospitals to hire the critically needed employees. That it causes stress on the organization having these open positions. So we created the Healthcare Talent Pipeline Program in partnership with the Westchester County Association and other organizations to address this issue. The program helps disadvantaged job seekers get healthcare training to land better paying jobs while enabling employers to fill in-demand positions. And the results have been impressive. 104 program participants have found new jobs in the healthcare field, and among these participants, the total direct net new earnings is $3.7 million. In addition to the economic impacts, the program has allowed healthcare providers to fill critically needed positions, and it's also provided new opportunities to individuals who wanted to work in the healthcare field but didn't know how to do it and didn't have the means to get the training. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mike Ramita, President and CEO of the WCA, and Jason Chapin from the WCA, who will provide more details on the results and impacts of this program. I want to thank County Executive Latimer and Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins for their leadership on this program, their guidance and support. It's really important and been a very impactful initiative. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bridget. And as Supervisor Dan mentioned before, it's a little bit of a Pelham reunion today. I'm a proud Pelhamite. Go Pelicans, Pelicans forever. So a little bit about the Healthcare Talent Pipeline Program and some updates. The numbers that Bridget presented were from an economic impact study that the county itself sanctioned to see how the money invested in the program was working out. And as she mentioned, the program results are very impressive. Since Bridget got her information, there have been another 30 people hired under the program, so it's up to over 130 people now hired under the program. Over 200 people trained, and the vast majority of those people will be placed into high-demand healthcare jobs in the near future with great skills and the opportunity to upskill their careers. In addition to the $3.7 million in direct earnings, there's another $9+ million in direct economic impact back to the county, and this is annualized. So for the county's investment with the WCA and its program partners, the return on investment is 1,600 to 1. So for every $1 invested by the county, $16 is returned to the county economy every single year. Obviously, this doesn't happen without our partners. The way this comes about is we first iterate with our members, what are their needs? And then collaboration. Who else can we involve? Who else can we reach out to in partnership to make these programs so successful? And obviously, it ends up with the county. You need a strong partner, you need strong county government, and you need the county to believe and invest in its people, its healthcare industry, its workers, its employees, its higher education partners to make this all to come together. There are some very innovative pieces of this program, and for that, I'd like to turn it over to Jason Chapin, our in-house Director of Workforce Development, to talk a little bit more about those. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Very happy to talk about the program. It's been a pleasure to work on it. We have a great partnership. It's a combination of key stakeholders that all are committed to the same outcomes that we're committed to. So we're working very closely with nonprofit Westchester and Open Door and Hope Community Services and United Community Center of Westchester, who help us with outreach, and our main training partners are Westchester Community College and Southern Westchester BOCES. And we focus on medical assistant, medical administrative assistant, and certified nursing assistant training that leads to good jobs with good pay and career advancement opportunities. But our program is unique in that it's not just about training, it's about providing some of the other key resources and supports that really help boost the outcomes. So we work very closely with STEM Alliance, and they provide the computer training that allows the students to be successful in their healthcare training. And we also partner with Leadership Learning Group, and they provide the job readiness training. They help the individuals with their resumes and their interviewing. And then we also have great employer partners, and these partners are eager to interview our candidates because they have a lot of positions to fill. And we have 5 employers that have hired a large number of our participants, including Northwell, WMC Health, Summit Health, now known as Village MD, Open Door, and White Plains Hospital. And as you heard, we've got great statistics, and we have great momentum. So the outcomes are going to accelerate over the coming months. We've got 50 participants in training this summer, and we've got about another 50 that are job searching right now. So I think we're going to make a lot of employers happy, a lot of job seekers happy, and a lot of stakeholders happy. And we're really looking forward to the opportunity to continue the program in 2025.
All right, and we definitely want to thank all of our partners here, especially the leadership, the outstanding leadership of the County Association, Westchester County Association, Mike Ramita, CEO and President of the County Association, certainly Jason Chapin and all the members of the board that does the leadership for Westchester County Association with this valuable healthcare talent pipeline program. The challenge saying that it's a 16-to-1 investment that comes back to Westchester County. We'll do that every day of the week. Mr. President, and we'll go from there. I'll turn it back over to you, George.
Thank you, And I want to echo Ken's comments about how much we appreciate the partnership that we have with Westchester County Association. I think you see, if you watch these reports regularly, our partnership is with the local governments, it's with the state delegation that represents us in Albany, it is with the not-for-profit community, it's for the business community, the labor community. It takes that general type of sense of working together to make Westchester move forward, and we've had that good fortune in this county for many, many years, and we try to amplify it during our tenure here in this responsibilities. Next up, we want to highlight that September 11th is coming. It may not seem like it's coming soon because we're still in the middle of the summertime, but we're roughly about 6-7 weeks away from the annual memorialization of that very terrible day on our calendar. We're set to hold a 2-day event here in Westchester County to honor the remembrance of those residents who perished in the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, as well as those who have succumbed to 9/11 related illnesses. The event will feature an interfaith prayer vigil on the night of September 10th, and then on September 11th, a memorial service which hopes to foster unity and remembrance. This year, 8 additional names, sadly, will be added to the 9/11 First Responders Memorial. We instituted this a few years ago, and we knew that unfortunately we would lose more of our fellow Westchester residents, people whose lives are being cut short because they worked on the pile or did other work that exposed them and caused them to get illnesses, cancers, and other respiratory diseases that cut short their life. So on these days, we remember those who've died, which now have totaled 81 Westchester residents. Everyone who's honored on the memorial either resided in Westchester County, worked in the county, or volunteered within Westchester County. This is, incredibly, the 23rd anniversary since the September 11th attacks. It is our duty to gather, to remember, and to honor those Westchester residents, in fact, all residents that died that day, those that were civilians, those that were first responders that put themselves in harm's way. This horrific event is still fresh in the minds of those of us who were alive at the time, who were active in our adult lives, but we have to remember that there are people now amongst us, young people who've graduated high school, who weren't alive when these things happened, and certainly those who are even older than that, mid to late 20s, that don't recall these events except as a matter of history. And if we want to be able to properly respect all of those lives lost and the principles that affect us in responding to that, then we have to make sure that generations who don't remember it as a matter of current events understand that it's still an active recollection and honoring in our mind. Creating the interfaith vigil the night before and the memorial service adds, we think, to that experience because we create a more somber effect by having that in advance. We reconfirm our support for the families that exist who lost loved ones in either of these two settings. The interfaith prayer vigil will occur on September 10th at 5 p.m. at Kensico Dam Plaza. It will be at the same location that we'll be at the next day, which is as you enter Kensico Dam Plaza, to your right of the dam, you'll see the sculpture of the rising, and then you'll see a low-rise wall around it, and on that wall are listed a tablet that shows those individuals that have lost 9/11 related illnesses. This vigil, we think, will be an appropriate setting and an appropriate activity, and we intend to have representatives from the various faith traditions, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, here for prayer, candle lighting, and a ceremonial wreath laying at the 9/11 monument. The following day, on September 11th, we have the memorial service that will be at 3 p.m. at Kensico Dam Plaza. And I want to highlight that we picked that time during the day because we know that many municipal ceremonies are held during the course of the day. Some of them in places like White Plains, Yonkers, and Eastchester are held in the morning hours, on or about the time of the first impact of the planes in the World Trade Center. And then many other communities hold them in the evening hours. And we try to structure our remembrance so that it doesn't conflict with them, and those who might come to the county event may also go to those in their home community. The event during the day on the 11th will include remarks, it will include music, and the names of those who died on 9/11 will be read, as well as those who have died from 9/11 related illnesses. If you are a family member of someone who either died on September 11th or from September 11th related illnesses, and if you'd like to be involved in either of these two memorial services, please contact us at communications@westchestercountiny.gov. That's communications, plural, at westchestercounty.gov. westchestercountyny.gov. And these events are open to the public. All are encouraged to attend, participate in what will be, as far as we can tell, a perpetual remembrance every September 11th of our loved ones who we lost that day. Ken Jenkins now will talk a little bit, bring on some guest speakers about our Westchester County probation and parole program, which celebrates an important week of recognition. Ken?
Thanks, George. And while we're doing this, we'll ask the Deputy Commissioner, Probation Commissioner Mary Frastello to come up with us. In this recognition of Parole and Probation Week, Westchester County Deputy Probation Commissioner Mary Frastello will discuss the vital work carried out by the department and its dedication to its employees in improving community safety and supporting rehabilitation efforts. Parole and Probation Week is observed annually. It serves as an opportunity to acknowledge the significant role that probation officers, parole officers, and all of the related staff play in the criminal justice system. With that, we'll turn over to Deputy Commissioner Mary Frastello. Come back.
Thank you, Deputy County Executive. Thank you, Mr. County Executive. Thank you, Deputy County Executive. It's only through the support and resources provided by the County Executive's Office that the Probation Department is able to perform the essential work our officers and staff engage in every day. Probation and Parole Week gives us an opportunity to recognize the vital service probation officers and staff perform. Through diversion, probation officers divert hundreds of youth a year from entering the criminal justice system. Officers work with emerging adults to secure educational, vocation, and employment opportunities to help them succeed. Officers provide supervision to thousands of adults under supervision in an effort to help them change their lives for the better and to ensure community safety. Officers in the Probation Victims Unit work closely with the victims of crime to ensure they have a voice in the justice system. We have officers specifically designated to assist domestic violence victims in securing family court orders of protection and necessary supportive services. Probation supervision requires a balanced approach of law enforcement and social work. So while the department's mission is centered on rehabilitations of individuals under our supervision, we are simultaneously charged with helping to ensure public safety. It is with tremendous pride that on behalf of Commissioner Rocco Posey, I recognize the hard work and dedication of the officers and staff of the Westchester County Probation Department during Probation and Parole Week. As part of our department celebration, we have 2 wellness events scheduled for staff and an outdoor lunch with service award pins. It's our way to say thank you to our great staff. And thank you, County Executive and Deputy County Executive, for always ensuring that probation has the resources to make the work that we do possible. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. We appreciate that update. And I think it's important for those of you who watch know that we talk about this frequently. I'll use this as an opportunity to say it again. Westchester County's scope of responsibilities are such that many individuals who live here really don't know just how many different services we provide, either required to provide or we choose to provide. I've often said that if you are not in financial need and have certain types of issues or problems, you do not interact with our Department of Social Services, which is the single largest department of county government. The second largest department of county government is the Department of Corrections, our correctional facilities. And tied into the correction function is the probation function. If you haven't had interaction in your life, and that would be a good thing, that you haven't had to face those situations, then you would not even know that what Mary and the people that she works with every day provide a professional service. You may recall that a few weeks ago we mourned the loss of Maria Cotto, who was a DSS worker who was involved with Adult Protective Services. She went out to check on a client and lost her life because at that time there was an individual there who committed a heinous crime. And just in the act of her doing her job every day, that brought her life into concern. And the people that serve us every day in the probations department have always that potential that some issue may occur. You're dealing in a difficult environment, and you never know what will happen on that particular day. Some of us who have jobs that don't expose ourselves to certain elements don't think at all that we might be putting ourselves in jeopardy. But the people of the probation department have a responsibility. It does require for them to interact in a way that could become problematic, and so we appreciate them all the more for the work that they do. And how important is it for us to try to help people who have been incarcerated are now back into the society, which is everybody that's in the county jail. The county system of corrections is not the state system. In the state system, you might be in prison for long-term circumstances. In the county, it's a one-year, generally, assignment. But that means you will come back out in the community. But we don't want that person to go back into the prison because they've created some other illegal act. So what probation does is an essential part of our protection of our citizens. People think of the police as protecting us, which they do. Perhaps they think of the correction officers as protecting us. So do the probation officers. And so, again, thank you for highlighting that, and we have great respect for what you do. As I have said many times before, all of us who work in some fashion have a job. If we're committed to that job over some period of time, it becomes a career. But not all careers are callings, and it takes a special calling to do the kind of work that's done in probation as well as in some of these other portions of our county responsibilities. So thank you again, and we go forward. I don't know if it's a calling to be a bus driver, but it can be stressful. And the members of TWU Local 100 that are the bus drivers, and those are the front of the house people. There are mechanics and people that do a million things to keep our bus system rolling. They do their job every single day, and there's a cost for that program and services. We want to make sure that those men and women are well compensated and that they do their job well. But we also know that the riders of the bus system pay from their hard-earned money to use the bus system. So we're able to, for the third straight year, suspend fares on all of our Beeline buses. We're now in the third week of that. We're going right through Labor Day. On Labor Day itself, Monday, Labor Day, the buses will be free the next day. Tuesday, September 3rd, we resume creating fares again. But during this period of time, we try to make it easy and convenient for people. The fare-free system applies to our paratransit, which serves the disabled individuals. They do it on an on-call basis. For the rest of us, we go out, we stand at the bus stop, and we wait for the bus to come by. If we know the timing of it, then we use it. But the Beeline bus system is the second heaviest ridership in New York State after the New York City system. And while there's always some debate, discussion, can we do a better job with bus stops? Can we do a better job of scheduling? We can always do a better job, but it is, as of today, an excellent system. Making it fare-free during the summer is really a step forward. Hardly anyone else in New York State has a public transit system that they make free over the summertime. And then, of course, as you know, we have new buses operating on the system that are powered by electric or electric hybrid situations. That reduces pollution dramatically. It takes us off of fossil fuel. And it also has little bells and whistles, like a little plug-in where you can take your cell phone. If it's low on charge, how many times have you had that situation? You can plug it in while you're sitting in your seat as you're en route from Yonkers to White Plains or Peekskill to Ossining, whatever the route is that you happen to take. So the B is free. It continues to be free. We're going to mention it every week. We're going to get you on that bus sooner or later. And we hope what happens is that the people who get on the bus who ride it regularly get a financial break. But we also hope, depending on what your route of travel is, that you might find this to be a viable alternative. And if you're accustomed to taking your car to the train station to take a train into the city, since you're already into mass transit on the commuter rail, you might consider the Beeline bus system to take you to the train station in and out, depending on your travel schedule. So we hope you take good advantage of the free B. If you have any questions, you can call 813-7777. You'll get the details there. You can also find us online at westchestergov.com/Beeline. And since the B is free, make good use of it, and you may fall in love with it, and we may see you in September as well. So, Ken is next up with American with Disabilities Act.
All right. The anniversary of the Americans with Disability Act is going to have a reception here. So County Executive George Latimer and the County Board of Legislators inviting everyone to join us for celebrating the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. That is coming up on this Thursday, July 25th. That is at 2 p.m. That flyer is on the screen right now. Make sure that you can RSVP to either communications@westchestercountiny.gov, and that's scrolling across the screen as well. And we need you to do that by July 22nd. That's today. So as soon as you get home, if you haven't heard this earlier, make sure that you click and send that information into RSVP. We want to make sure that we have proper accommodations for everyone on the as we celebrate and recognize the Americans with Disabilities Act coming up this Thursday, July 25th. Back to you, George.
Next up, we have a very celebratory event coming up at the end of this week, and that is the beginning of the Paris Olympics. The 2024 Olympic Games will be played in Paris and environs, and we want to mention that we have a local connection to a world-class runner. Mount Vernon is the area that nurtured the career of Rai Benjamin. He was born in New York. He was raised in Antigua before returning to Mount Vernon. He has made history, and now he's going to be competing in the 2024 Paris Olympics in the 400-meter hurdles and in the men's 4x400 meter relay. He is a world-class runner in those sports. And he was part of a team. He anchored the team actually in 3 years ago in the COVID-delayed Tokyo Olympics, which won a gold medal in the 4x400 meter relay. So that's gold medal the last time he participated with us. He's in that mark again. He broke the world record while securing a silver medal in the 400 meter hurdles. He's competing in that again this year. These are tremendous accomplishments. This young man graduated through Mount Vernon High School, also my alma mater. I hurdled a few things, but not what he's done. And his world-class athletic skill set, we all want to root for. When his events come up, look for your channel. If you're available, you can watch it on TV. That would be a wonderful thing to do, to show him a little bit of hometown love. Rai has made his life out in Los Angeles now. He went to college out there and graduate programs, but he's still a Mount Vernon boy at heart, aren't we all? And we're very happy for him. And we have our communications department just checking through the various Olympic performances and the competitions over the course of the 2 weeks that begin this Friday and next Monday when we return. If there are any others that have a Westchester residence connection, we're going to make sure we highlight them as well, so we have a little hometown love for those that are competing. So we wish Rai Benjamin the best in his two events. We hope you see it, enjoy it, and we hope he brings back those medals, which he so richly deserves. Now we go to the standard activity this week in parks with our Deputy County Executive, Ken Jenkins.
Thanks, George. So this week in Parks, we're going to continue the outstanding Park and Read program, Rosie Finizio's program, that is going to various parks through the county. This is another season of that particular program where young folks ages 3 to 6 can discover the joy of reading in picturesque, and we're going to fill in the blank, in this case, Lenoir Park, in the captivating Read Aloud program. That's going to be at the Fire Circle. That's at Lenoir Preserve in Yonkers. That is on Tuesdays, and it's from 11 to 11:45 a.m. And this is the case no matter which park it is, that you need to be present for 11 to 11:45 with a parent or guardian with the young person. And you never know who might be your guest reader. It's going to be Tuesday, going every Tuesday, July 30th and August 6th and 13th. Again, that's at Lenoir Preserve. Then on Tuesday, the 23rd as well, we will have the outdoor Zumba class for those that are interested. At Kensico Dam, you'll be able to dance the night away, which is led by instructors Steve and Ania Jones. You'll be able to sweat, move, and have fun all at the same time while getting in a fantastic workout. It's free admission and it's free parking, and that's Tuesdays, July 23rd and followed by July 30th. August 13th, so it skips the first Tuesday in August, so 13th and the 27th, so it's every other week, and then September 3rd, right when the buses are going to start back to being non-free, you'll be able to participate in outdoor Zumba classes on September 3rd and 17th. That's at 6:30 to 7:30 at Kensico Dam, right in the plaza area. Looked like lots of fun when I was watching it. I was not participating in it, but I know a lot of people that do, and it's very enjoyable. That's the outdoor Zumba class. Our Park and Read program on Wednesday, July 24th, and that's Wednesdays. That's at Saxon Woods Park, and that's in the grass area that's right adjacent to the playground. And if it's inclement weather, they go inside the pavilion. Again, July 24th, then following Wednesday, August 31st, August 7th, and August 14th. And again, you never know which guest readers are going to pop by and stop and say hello and read to the young folks ages 3 to 6. On Thursday, the 25th, that Park and Read program goes to Kensico Dam Plaza. Again, and that's going to be right in the Garris area, right outside the office. It's near the restroom area, right in Kensico Dam Plaza, with the accessible playground area kind of in the background. But again, that's 11 to 11:45. That's when the program happens for everyone. And continue to remember, it's not a drop-off. You got to be there with your young folks, ages 3 to 6. And again, 11 to 11:45. And that's every Thursday, including August 1st, August 8th, and August 15th. And that is the fantastic Park and Read program by Rosie Finizio. On Friday, July 26th, coming up this Friday, we're going to have the Kensico Dam Plaza Robeson Summer Concert Series. This week, we're going to have Love Story. It's a Taylor Swift tribute. Again, at Kensico Dam Plaza, everything is free, so the admission and parking are free. Bring your blanket and be able to watch that fantastic summer concert series by Robeson. And this week, again, it's a love story, a tribute to Taylor Swift. And finally, at Kensico Dam Plaza, as County Executive Latimer has pointed out, our Parks Department is busy during this time of the year. Besides all the pools and the beaches being open, on Saturday at Kensico Dam Plaza is the infamous Cornhole Tournament. It's 12 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, 27th, and there are prizes, there's things that are happening. It's fantastic for those folks that love to play cornhole, and there's a bunch of folks out there. There's a little professional league going on. That's on Saturday, the 27th, from 12 to 8. In the case of rain, the rain date is Sunday, July 28th. You need to pre-register, though, and you got to pre-register by Friday, July 26th at noon, so that we can make sure that we have all of the appropriate equipment available for that cornhole tournament. And with that, back to you, George.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks very much, Ken. I always make much of my pride of being a resident of Rye, but a native of Mount Vernon. Mike Ramita, who was with us here earlier, was on air, is a proud resident of Harrison, but he has roots growing up in Pelham, as he pointed out today. And it was Mike Ramita that just informed me that I must include the name of Kate Douglas, a Pelham resident, a terrific athlete, great swimmer, who we think is in line to win medals as well. So we'll make sure that next week, when we have the update of any of the other athletes that are participating in addition to Rye Benjamin, we're going to mention Kate Douglas, and I'm sure I'm going to get notes from people who grew up in Pleasantville, somebody who grew up in Peekskill, somebody who grew up in Pound Ridge, and they're going to remind me of some other great athletes that will be competing. But Kate Douglas, alongside of Rye Benjamin, we wish you the best in the upcoming Olympics. We appreciate you watching. If we have any reason to communicate with you during the course of the next 7 days, we will. We did this last week when we had the CrowdStrike issue, and we reported on Friday, and we will do that again this week if necessary. But absent that, we'll be back next Monday, give you another update on what's happening, and hopefully some interesting information of what's going on in Westchester, and nothing quite as dramatic as is happening on the national scene. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.